back to another episode of the Quick 30 Podcast family. And today we have a very special guest today. That, matter of fact, he's not even a guest. I'm gonna let him introduce himself to y'all.
What's up, y'all? This is Miles. This is the video editor for the group, for real. And I had to make the decision to come on today. I needed to talk about the tragic loss of Adesanya last night that broke my heart. I don't know if it broke your heart, but it broke my heart. And I got to speak on what happened and how that broke down. But thank you for having me. And this is lit to be on the Quick 30 Podcast for real, you know?
Hey, this is the man that makes the magic happen. This the man, y'all see all them nice edits, y'all see. He not putting too much on himself, but I'ma give him a little hype for himself. He does all the videos for us. He does all the edits for us. He puts the music behind. He brings the ideas. He does so much for us. So I'm thankful that he's on the team. Thankful that he came out for this episode because we always talking behind the scenes about UFC.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Therefore, he watched the fight last night. I watched the highlights of the fight. But we do have to bring it to your attention because this was big in the UFC world. I'm glad he wanted to hop on. He literally called me yesterday and said, bro, you know we got to make an episode about that fight, right?
We had to.
I said, oh, no, he said, yo, we got to make an episode, bro. So here we are making it. But what were your thoughts and intakes on the fight last night? Did it go as you predicted it to go?
All right, so first off, like, we gotta, in order to understand how I predicted it to go, we gotta understand the type of fighters we're dealing with here. You got Adesanya, one of the greatest fighters in the UFC, one of the greatest fighters hands down. If you look at his record overall throughout his entire fighting career, he has like 105 wins through boxing, MMA, and kickboxing. And then he has only like 7 losses total. This man is a monster. This man is different. The big thing about him is he's a kickboxer, he's a striker. He has the ability to stand up and beat you up with great defense against wrestling. So that makes him one of the most dangerous men, period, in the ring. Right? And then now we have Duplessis, right? Duplessis, he was a good fighter. He was more of a brawler, get close to you, just start swinging at you. He wasn't as mainstream and as well known as Adesanya because Adesanya had so many crazy runs, crazy series, and even one of the biggest upset loss of MMA history against Strickland. And and the thing about him is Duplessis talks so much trash. He talked so much trash, and it was so bad. It felt disrespectful, right? As a black man, me personally, as a black man, I couldn't take that level of disrespect. And
but you have to break it down to them though, of why this was so, this was such a controversial fight, and why there was disrespect even in the first place.
Cool. So look, this is what happened. This is the breakdown, right? This is the breakdown. Adesanya had a year-long break. He lost basically one of his easiest fights in the MMA history. He lost to somebody who was not known as Sean Strickland. And when he lost to him, he went in a hiatus, right? So when a legend go in hiatus, that means other people have a chance to rise, right? It's like a power vacuum. And the person who came out on top was Duplessis. And when Duplessis got to the top, now he could talk as much trash as he want on top in front of the crowd, in front of the world, right? And so what that means is whatever he says has a huge impact on how everyone feels. Right? So let's think about that, right? So let's think about that. What did Duplessis say that can make an entire fan base go crazy and me feel offended? He said Adesanya isn't a real African. Of all people,
that hurts.
Say Adesanya isn't a real African? That's disrespectful. I ain't gonna hold you. And then the thing is, Duplessis, he is a white man. He is, right?
He's South African white man.
I'm about to say that, but he is a South African white man. South African white man. Now I ain't gonna get too deep into that because that's politics, and this is a podcast about sports news. But I was hurt, and so now let's break down. Now, do you want to break down the fight? Or want me to break down the fight? Because I could do either.
I'll break down the fight and I'll get your commentary too. But from what I seen from the highlights of the fight, I seen that first of all we gotta break down their resumes, each of their resumes. Like he said, both of them had highly impressive resumes, but Duplessis is an up and coming fighter. Therefore, We seen that Duplessis. This was a big moment for him. This was probably his biggest fight. He's fought Sean Strickland, and that was a very, very, very good fight. He beat him. Now he's beating Izzy from last night, and he knocked out Robert Whitaker. Izzy, we all know his track record. He's one of the greatest middleweights to ever do it. Beat Anderson Silva, knocked out Robert Whitaker, knocked out Paul Costa. The list goes on of how impressive he is.
So one thing I would like to add on that note, Adesanya, right? He was so dominant in his division, nobody could touch him. They ran out of people that he could fight against that would make that fight worthwhile. It was so bad they had to pull somebody, which is Alex Pereira, from his past to find the only known knockout clip or lost clip of Adesanya. That's how bad it was. And they had to pull Alex Pereira out of that and then fast track him into a championship fight in order for him to be able to fight him. That's how dominant this man was. But continue.
Yeah, but he's a dominant person. But for the fight wise, I seen right out the gate this was going to be a brawl. And we know, like our producer said, Duplessis is a wild fighter. He's a brawler. He's going to chase after you. He doesn't really have a technical, like most UFC fighters. They're either grapplers, they're either kickboxers, they're strikers. He's all of it. He's just a wild fighter. He loves to be in that ring. Adesanya, the kickboxer, has great defense against wrestling. So if we look at this fight from the first round to the fourth round when it ended, the first round, it started off high pace. It started off as a great fight. I feel like Izzy was fighting smart because when he was hitting Duplessis, he was backing up every time he was doing it because he didn't want to go to the ground with him. And it kept going on repeatedly. And Duplessis did get some strikes in. Second round, Duplessis said, okay, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. He took Izzy to the ground, got some ground and pounding, and he almost got him in a submission chokehold, but Izzy got out of it. Third round, same thing. Izzy, he was fighting very smart. He wasn't fighting. He knew what not to do, and it paid off for him in the fourth round. That's when the fight ended. It was slow because Duplessis, like my producer said,
the pain
is that guy who's just gonna chase after you. We and my producer was talking about this before we even hopped on here. Duplessis literally chased that man around the ring. Like he sprinted after him, like ran around the ring in circles and was just throwing. And one hit Izzy, he got dazed, kept hitting him, took him to the ground, choked him out, ended the fight. I just know that I like that type of fighting. Sometimes it's a little reckless, but it worked for Duplessis yesterday, and that's my take of it. And Izzy outlanded him in strikes and significant strikes yesterday in the fight.
He did. You can see it during the fight. Like one of the things that the announcer was calling out, I was looking at, Izzy weaved and tagged him. He stood on his ground of being the last stylebender in his high level of mixed martial arts. You can tell that during his time out, he took the time to train. Oh, one key thing too, Izzy put on a lot of weight for this fight.
I meant to say that. Yes, he did.
That's one thing that a lot of people was acknowledging, but they didn't see as heavy. Adesanya was a skinny fighter. He was a really, really skinny fighter, and this time he came in, put on a good amount of pounds. So that means that his punches had a lot more weight to it. So mind you, he's striking Duplessis, he's hitting him, but the weight and he had the weight, but Duplessis had a stronger chin. He had a really, really strong chin. Adesanya did have a few times where he dazed him, but his chin was crazy. I have to give him respect for how many times he got hit and kept moving. You know?
Yeah, I'll give him respect too. I honestly do. Excuse me, I'm sorry. But with this fight, we just seen that Duplessis has proved that he's that guy in the middleweight division. Now being Izzy as one of his best competitors. So I do. Oh, my fault. I'm sorry. You go ahead.
One thing that I really want to acknowledge though is that like this right here, this fight, knowing that Duplessis is his standing is secured in the spot of the top of the middleweight. what does that mean for Adesanya? Where does that take him? Because now you really got to think about it, right? Adesanya, he moved up a weight class and couldn't win. He couldn't win against, I think it was like the third best or something like that, and he couldn't even get a chance at the top contender. And it was really because of the weight difference. The other guy was just too heavy, and Adesanya couldn't like fight back or lift him up. That was one of his few losses. He has to stay in his weight class. And then now, when you think about it, right, a lot of the greats have the same problem. When you're the best, when you're the very, very, very best, and you lose at the very, very top, they tend to start to lose more. They don't have that same oomph as they did, that dominating factor that they did. Because the thing is that top level, right? That top level of that untouchableness is now cracked. Now, where do you go from that point? And like, what do you see Adesanya in his future places? So that's the question I wanted to ask you, Mike. Where do you see Adesanya going?
I see him still fighting. I still see him in the middleweight division, even though he has took some tough losses. They were two great competitors. Alex Pereira is a great competitor. I think he's the best UFC fighter right now, other than John Jones. And I believe Duplessis is a very good fighter too. So I definitely believe he's going to come back stronger. He's going to take some time to heal mentally and physically, of course. But I believe that he'll be still a top contender in the middleweight division. I hope what happened to him, though, I hope what happened to him doesn't turn out to be Anderson Silva, because we seen it.
Yeah.
Anderson Silva was at the top of the game at the middleweight division. At one point in time, we were saying we wanted Anderson Silva to fight John Jones. Adesanya basically took his place and claimed king of that middleweight division. So I have to see Adesanya come back to the ring, fight somebody good. He's young. He's only 35 years old of age. And I think that he will be still a top contender in that middleweight division. He has nothing to hang his head over. It was a tough fight for him yesterday. And he just has to learn to manage that weight and get better, because Adesanya, I told you this before off camera too, Adesanya is one of the rare people in the UFC that fights at his actual weight. So, Miles, I went on about my rant about where I see Izzy's future. Where do you see where Israel Adesanya's future will be in the sport?
I ain't gonna hold you. It's kind of crazy. I don't know where else Adesanya can go.
Wow.
It's a crazy take.
Wow.
It's a crazy take.
That's crazy.
But either he retires in the UFC or he goes to an entirely different league.
You about to get some hate for that.
I hope I don't. Because the thing is, this is the thing. This is one coming from, right? This one coming from. Adesanya can finish out his tenure at UFC. He can fight for the next 5 years, 5-6 years, and then he retire, right? The thing is, though, he has to either get his get back at Duplessis, and if he doesn't get his get back at Duplessis, then that means that like there'll be somebody above him that he couldn't beat, and I don't think that he would tarnish his career like that. He would have to go somewhere else to re-solidify where he is and what he's doing, but like it's nothing. What else can he do? He couldn't transfer weight classes. He was already extremely skinny when he was in the middleweight division in the first place, and I don't see him having the power to fight at what's the next weight class? Light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight. No, he'll get killed at light heavyweight.
He's not strong enough to handle light heavyweight. So if he can't do these things, what can he do? I think he's still fighting his division. I think he'll end up around second or third place, maybe somewhere around there. But I don't know where he would go, because the thing is, he's a great fighter, and I will never disrespect his name like that. But the truth is, like, where else can Izzy go? And that's the hard truth about this conversation, because Duplessis had put it to where a man that can take a year off from being the best in the world and then can't come back and take his title against somebody who said the utmost disrespectful things. What do you do? You know, wow. It's a hard one, but it's the truth. It's the truth. So,
that's a crazy take. That's a crazy take by accepting. That's a crazy take by accepting.
See, And so the thing is like, you know, like I would love to see Adesanya on top. I'm rooting for him because the thing is, like Drake said, of all people to pick, I will always bet on Izzy. So whenever I see Izzy fight, I'm gonna bet on him. But if he can't come back, then he just can't come back.
Hey, you see what Drake's record is? It's like 14. It's like 14 and like 200 or something crazy. Oh my gosh.
That's just crazy though. But yeah, no, I really don't know. But in other news though, from Duplessis though, we gotta talk about it. On I forgot which platform it is. I believe it's Twitter. Alex Pereira called out Duplessis because he saw the disrespect that he was doing. So he was like, you know what? Maybe I should come back to the middleweight class. And you know, Alex Pereira, he beat Izzy, and he was a skeleton. That man was a skeleton when he did that. He was so light, it was ridiculous. And he beat Izzy. So then he said he was gonna come down to him. But you know what Duplessis said? I ain't gonna hold you. Top 10 trash talker. I ain't gonna lie. He's probably one of the best trash talkers I've ever seen like since Conor McGregor, because he be getting me heated. He said, you know what? I'll come up to 205 with you. He gonna come up there to Alex Pereira weight class and say that disrespectful stuff. I can't wait to see that fight, because if if you do that and Alex Pereira come and knock that man out, I'll be the happiest man alive. I'll sleep good at night. I'll sleep like the happiest man in the world. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy to see that. But what you think about it?
Ouch. I seen the tweet that you were talking about, because Alex Pereira got even cocky. No, Duplessis got cocky. He said, hey, look, we could go to 185 or we could go to 205. He don't mind it. I said, Alex Pereira, you better go like that? Mind you, the post that he saw it on was on the Quick 30 Instagram page. Go like and follow, please. But continue. Nah. But seriously though, what he said, y'all gotta tune in. But seeing that tweet, it was mind boggling. It was just, in the moment, honestly, for me, I said, let's get this fight rolling. Let me call Dana White right now and say, hey, I want a contract. I want them two to fight right now. Let's make a contract right now. Let's make it happen, because Duplessis versus Alex Pereira, that's why I see Duplessis' future is, because I don't see anyone else in the middleweight division that could beat him. So I would definitely believe that he needs to fight Alex Pereira.
And the thing is too, like, he can handle the weight. He can physically handle the weight. If you look, he was cut, right? He was cut for that fight, but his lats were huge. You know, that's the back part of the body right there. But that's why his overhand rights were so strong. He has huge back lats. So like, and the thing is, he can fit more weight on his body. Like, if he add the more weight, let's say you put it on with like a mix of muscle and fat, that man might be a monster in the light heavyweight division. But he ain't no Alex Pereira though. Let's just be real. No. He's not no Alex Pereira.
There's not many people that's on that level.
There's not.
But that's where I see his future is. I believe that he will fight Alex Pereira. But now I have another question for you. Do we want to see Alex Pereira versus Duplessis? Or do we want to see Alex Pereira versus Johnny Bones Jones? Which one we want to see? Which one we want to see?
Things right now, bro. You said some crazy things right now, bro.
Which one we want to see? Hey, you gotta pick one,
bro. I don't know. One. Oh man, bro, you saying some insane things right now. You saying some insane things. Oof, bro. Okay, all right. Look. This is a big one. We gotta be realistic here, right? These are my thoughts on it. Alex Pereira versus Duplessis will make me happy, right? So, because I will be able to see the man that I don't like not completely out. And you gotta think about it too, right? Like that fight, after all of the hype, this would be the perfect fight for Alex Pereira to take, because it'll give him the most amount of money and it'll bring in the most amount of fans, right? That'd be crazy. But for the real UFC fans, you will want to see that John Bones fight. You really would. You will really want to see that John Bones fight, because I think about it, right? John Bones Jones don't got that much left. And Alex Pereira, he's hitting his prime right now. He's a monster right now. We don't know if he can take that fight. But let's just be real here, though. So John Bones Jones might really just avoid it and then just go down and beat the top heavyweight right now, and then just go down as one of the best fighters that ever do it. Because it won't. Because if he fight Alex Pereira, it'll tarnish his record. It really will. Because I don't see him winning. Alex Pereira, well, I can see him winning because John Bones Jones is like has more knowledge in the ground and pound, and so like I ain't gonna hold you, he might just body him, but because Alex Pereira like striking is so good, and he's working on his defense to such a high level to where he's beating champions, I don't see John Bones Jones winning. But Duplessis, though, knock that man Duplessis out right now. All right, but go ahead. But what you think, Mike? What you think, Mike? And then we can close it out.
Wait, which fight did you want to see, though?
I wanted to see that honestly, I really wanted to see the Alex Pereira Duplessis fight just so I can see him get knocked out. But okay. If it was a like legacy fight, like just something that you would see like fighters passing on the torch, I would see Alex Pereira versus John Jones.
Okay, good take. I'll say for me, I strongly disagree with you on the John Jones aspect. I think John Jones will not kill Alex Pereira, but he will definitely defeat Alex Pereira. I see that going. I don't even see it going to decision. I say John Jones round 4. I think John Jones takes him to the ground. I think John Jones is too good on the ground for Alex Pereira, and I think he will ultimately submit him or just beat him TKO by just his ground and pound. Duplessis, I think that would be a very good fight too as well. But I believe that if Alex Pereira fights Duplessis and Duplessis tries to do what he did to Izzy to Alex Pereira, do all that rushing and fighting wild, he will get knocked out. Because we know how Alex Pereira left hand is. Mm-hmm. His left hand is disgusting. It's top of the line in UFC. So if, like I said, Duplessis does that, he will get knocked out. But the fight that I ultimately want to see is I want to see Alex Pereira versus John Jones, just because John Jones is my favorite fighter in the UFC in general of all time. So I strongly do want to see that fight. I think Alex Pereira needs to make it happen, because after that, I think John Jones will probably retire and it will end his legacy off in a fabulous and tremendous way. But that's my thoughts on it.
So only thing that like I would say to that is that like I ain't gonna hold you as far as ground and pound fighting though. Like I could definitely see where you're coming from. It's hard for me to even disagree with that because like because he's so good and because he still has that energy. By the time and plus all the high level John Bones Jones fighting is like it's hard for me to disagree with his ground and pound fighting, but like. I just don't see him beating Alex Pereira standing up. I just can't. And so so for me, where I'm at is I agree with you in the 4th round for John Jones, but 3rd round Alex Pereira probably got it. I think you can get him. I think you can get him before the 4th round come around. But that's just my thoughts, and yeah. But you want to close it out?
We will see. Dana, please make one of those fights happen.
Just one.
Pretty much, I want John Jones, but if you could make Duplessis and Alex Pereira, that's cool. But I really want John Jones. But like I said, I hope y'all enjoy this episode. Special guest appearance by the man who makes the videos himself right here for y'all. Makes everything pop and makes everything good for y'all. But is there anything or any last words you want to say, Mr. Producer, to the fans?
Thank y'all for letting me on here. I appreciate the time and energy. The podcast is a group full of friends that really like try their best to put passion and time and energy in something they love. And so like I really want to say thank you for the support that y'all have. Thank you for the views that y'all get. Thanks for the comments and time that y'all put outside. Put aside throughout y'all day to really like listen to us and hear what we have to say. So I want to say I appreciate y'all and thank y'all. And these people are really passionate. Mike, Zay, Mo, and Kyle are all putting their own work in their own time, and they all like are really excited to put out work for y'all. And we really appreciate the love that y'all put out for them. So thank you. You know, I appreciate you for y'all for let me be on here. You know,
man, we appreciate you, but we gonna end it off like I always say before we end it off. Road to 1K. Run them likes up, run them comments up. Follow the Quick 30 TikTok. Follow the Quick 30 Instagram. We got in trouble for our last post. We got a lot of feedback behind our quarterback post, but there will be a part 2 to it. But that's all we have to say, and we out.
Oh, one more thing.
Oh, one more thing?
Look. Grr, pow.